You guys saw the sign? We're asking people right now if they think the physical world is all there is. What are your thoughts on that? Huh?
I don't think that the physical world is all that there is. I believe that each individual is made up of their own soul energy. I believe that all of us are made of different types of energy, and since there is that whole proven fact that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and since we are made of energy, I feel like once we leave our physical form, there is somewhere, whether or not you believe in a religion aspect of it, you go to the heavens or you go to a different type of spiritual realm, I believe that your energy is just transferred into a different consciousness rather than just completely dying off. I believe that we're not necessarily like humans per se. I believe that we're more of spiritual energy that is reliving a human experience.
So you would say, Laura, that every single person has their own soul or their own energy, and that at death it goes from a human body into another kind of body, maybe another human, maybe an animal, something like that. Am I following you?
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. What are your thoughts on this question, Parker?
For me personally, I just think kind of similar to her answer, but a little bit different. Instead of souls necessarily, I believe we all have consciousness, each and every individual consciousness. And when we die or pass on, that doesn't necessarily go away, but it just goes somewhere, if that makes sense. Because obviously I feel like the physical world is what we know so far, and anything other than that is just what's undiscovered. So I feel like it's really open to any type of answer where we go. Anything extra, I feel like it's just very unknown. But I feel like that's what's part of our world, is like we don't need to know everything. And I feel like part of us growing is just that unknown. Knowing that we don't know what happens in the end, but it's like that's just how you live life. You're not knowing, not wanting to focus on any type of belief, if that makes sense.
So you would say, Parker, that something happens with our consciousness after we die. You're not sure if it goes into another animal, another human, or goes somewhere else.
I just think it goes somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't have a set belief necessarily. I just think it goes somewhere, and that's not something we know.
Sure. Wow, I appreciate you guys sharing that. I'm curious, how in your life did you personally come to believe that? Huh?
Me personally, I came to grow that belief through a lot of research with reading. Growing up, I was never under one religion, and I was exposed to many different religions, many different types of spirituality, just overall many different styles of beliefs. And over time, I guess I just picked apart what made most sense to me and what felt most true within. Because I feel like judgment is such a big thing that we're very quick to judge somebody based off of their beliefs, whether or not they believe in God, or whether if they believe in Buddha or different things like that. I feel like when we're clouded by judgment, it kind of gets away from our personal beliefs, and we tend to lose the reality of what we actually believe in. And so after stopping my judgment through reading through everything else, I was able to find what felt true to me. And so I'm still on that journey of really figuring out everything I believe in, but it was more of just time, patience, and lots of personal research and lots of meditation of within.
Wow, so for you, Laura, it sounds like you didn't really grow up in a specifically religious home, not Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, anything like that. And as you got exposed to different perspectives and started reading a lot and meditating yourself, you came to the beliefs that you have because they resonated the most with you. They felt the most true. It's wow. What about you, Parker? How did you come to hold these views?
For me, necessarily, I guess I grew up Catholic, but I was never baptized in that sense, and I was never really brought up in the church. So my parents based their beliefs off of just living life necessarily, and they never brought religion into my life. So growing up, I just viewed everything from a very straightforward perspective. I just took things as they come and didn't let beliefs because I feel like, this is my opinion, religion can come with a lot of judgment towards others. And I feel like without that, I was kind of able to view things more clearly and learn about different backgrounds and different types of cultures and groups that we have that maybe would be shunned in different religions or viewed differently. So without that negative aspect, I would say, I was able to view things more openly. And for now, I wouldn't say that I'm not religious because I definitely believe in something, but I'm still trying to figure that out, if that makes sense.
Interesting. So you grew up with with Catholic parents, but they didn't force Catholicism on you.
It was mainly just like they just let me navigate that myself, and I really feel like that's how life should be, is just not taking any influence from others and just developing your own beliefs yourself.
Gotcha. Trying to think critically about things on your own. Oh, I'm curious, you guys. So I by the way, I'm a Christian. That's the perspective I'm coming from. I believe in a soul. I believe in a consciousness as well. I don't think it's a physical thing that's made of atoms and molecules per se. I'm curious, is that the kind of view that you guys have of consciousness too, or of the soul? Do you think it's like this material thing that we have, or not? How would you describe it?
I wouldn't describe it as physical matter. I think that I really believe that your soul is what you make it out to be. So there are some people who I can say, because whether or not they're very violent people, they're very negative people, it's not necessarily that they don't have a soul, but their energy is just not fulfilling enough to really feel that.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
feel like having a soul is more of a feeling rather than something physical. When you're talking to the right people, you can just feel when somebody has a good soul. When you meet certain people, you can just feel that energy. You can absorb that energy. And with other people, it's more of you can't really feel it. And so I don't think it's anything that you can make up, you can create in science lab. I don't think it's something you can put underneath a
microscope. Yeah.
See it. I think it's one of those things that if you type of thing, it's just like you have to feel it within in order to really believe it. I can confidently say the reason why I speak on this and the reason why I'm confident to speak on this is because I fully feel my soul. I feel how things affect my soul. I know when somebody isn't good for my soul. I feel the energy. I feel the switch ups. I feel everything on, I guess you could say, a spiritual level rather than a physical or emotional level.
Interesting. Tell me if I'm understanding correctly. So would you, Laura, say that the soul is not kind of thing that you could study in a physics class where you can put it under a microscope? It's not the kind of thing that's can be explained with chemistry or with physical sciences, right? It's something that seems to be different from the kind of stuff that you would study in a typical science class here at San Jose State, right? Not a rock or a tree or your arm or something like that.
Absolutely. I think that there is no type of class science class. I do not believe that science can prove the fact that you have a soul. I don't think, and I think that's why for some people, there are very scientific people, and I've had conversations with them that they have to have everything be proven by science, which no judgment at all. That's just how their mind works. But I definitely do think that your soul is something that you cannot take a class on. It's something that you have to discover within yourself. And if you don't believe in it or if you don't feel like it's true without scientific evidence, then I feel like you should do some more soul searching. Look within yourself because it is there. You just have to look. You just have to look.
Gotcha. So would you say, Laura, that the soul is like, it's a real thing? It might not be physical, but it's a real thing. And you were talking about it as a thing that leaves our body when we die and maybe goes into something else. But it is something. It's just not a physical thing.
You are your soul. I believe you are your soul. Whether or not you are seeing it from a physical aspect or you are transferring your energy into some different type of life form, your soul is you. Your soul is whatever makes you you. For example, I love to draw, I love to read, I love going outside, I love hanging out with my friends. That's my soul speaking to me because those are the things that make me happy. The things that make you happy are what make up your soul. And I feel like those are the types of things that we don't need science to explain. We don't need to explain why we're happy. We don't need to explain, we don't question when anything makes us happy because that's our soul telling us that it's good for us. So I feel like you just need to not think surface level. And you just need to go within different layers of yourself, if that makes sense.
I think I'm following you there. What about you, Parker? What are your thoughts on this?
My answer is probably not going to be in depth as her. I'm going to be real.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like...
I'm sorry. Maybe you can just scoot a little bit closer that way.
Similar to what she said.
That's good.
Our soul's very much an accumulation of all of our life experiences, our personalities, our interests. I don't think it's just a physical thing necessarily, but she said it's what we feel inside. It's our feelings. You know, we don't question emotions. We don't question when we're happy or sad. So I just feel like everything just comes naturally to our soul. And when I guess I'm kind of thinking more into it, but when we pass on and we don't really know what happens to our soul. So it's kind of maintaining that throughout your life is just, I feel like, what's most important. Just keeping your soul happy.
So your soul, an accumulation of your experiences, who you truly are, right, if I'm following you correctly.
And who you choose to be at the end of the day. I feel like you can express yourself through your soul. I know there's very happy and sad individuals, but it's all about how you choose to express yourself.
Interesting. So what I'm curious is if you guys think that the soul is a real thing, not a physical thing, but still a real thing that exists. And if I'm understanding what you guys believe correctly, when we die, something happens to it. Maybe it goes somewhere else. Maybe it goes into something else, right? But it is a real thing, right? Is that is that what you would
definitely
believe
say
too?
It's a real thing.
And you're on board with that too?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the final question I'd be interested in hearing you guys' thoughts on is where you think that soul comes from, right? Yeah, because as a Christian, it's easy for me to explain in terms of it coming from God, right? This kind of foundational soul that everything else comes from. But what's your guys' opinion on that?
Well, Going back to what I originally started with energy can neither be created nor destroyed, I feel like throughout time, souls have been made. I feel like everything in a way has its own soul. And I feel like, me personally, I do not believe in a God. But I do believe that everything, I guess you could say, came from the universe itself. If you look scientifically and biologically how our universe has been able since the Big Bang to like all of these worlds, create all of these different life organisms, all of these different spectrums, is it crazy to think that we came from the universe itself? I mean, look, and you check me on this, fact check me. We are literally made of stardust. There is stardust in our DNA, which means somehow, in some way, we came from the universe in some type of way. I am still in the path where I am confused on that question specifically because obviously when you don't fall underneath a specific religion, it is hard to be like, well, where did we all come from?
Yeah.
So I would say that I don't have an answer for that. And it's like that I still need to do more personal research on, but I still stand behind the belief that I think no matter where we came from, it was brought from the universe.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing that, Laura. It's definitely understandable. And you mentioned something interesting there. You talked about how souls seem to be made, right? I don't know if this is exactly what you meant, but that seems true to me. I don't think my soul's always existed, or at least doesn't feel that way. It feels like, my soul came into existence sometime, not too distant past.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same view that you have too. That like,
I definitely
your
think
soul
that,
started existing at some point, hasn't always been around.
Yeah, definitely do think that our souls are made due to like the right timing. I just feel like my belief is that when a soul is made or when energy is created, it just transfers. It changes form. It doesn't die off, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay. I want to come back to that. Just like I'm curious about when you're talking about the souls coming from, our souls coming from the universe, like, what you mean by that exactly. But before that, Parker, do you kind of with
I would say
our
our
view of where our
souls
souls come from? Or
I mean, personally, I think our soul's definitely created when we are born, and I feel like it's all about your soul can be created then, but it's all about developing it throughout your life. Like that's when it starts to show itself. Like I said, like your experiences through what you feel. That's how it really can present itself.
Okay.
And I feel like everyone's born with one. It's just all changes depending on the person.
Okay. Love that idea that your soul's not completely fixed by the way that you're born, right? That there's hope that it can change and maybe even become the best version of yourself possible, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. So the question that we're asking right now is the physical world all there is? I don't know. Maybe you mean something different by the universe than I do. When I think about the universe, oftentimes it's thought of in terms of physics, right? In terms of stars and atoms and molecules and other particles, right? All physical things. It's interesting because if we say that something like the soul exists, which I agree with you, I think something like the soul does exist, it seems hard to explain where that came from if everything else is just physical, right? It seems hard to explain how something non-physical like the soul could come from physical things like rocks and trees and planets and atoms and molecules, right?
Well,
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me ask you something then.
Yeah.
You being a Christian, where did God come from?
Yeah.
Who created God?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Kind of like the same thing of what you're asking me, like who created our souls? Where did our souls come from? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so young. I'm not even 20 yet. So like, still have so much more that I need to learn about my own life. I need to learn about myself, that I just need to like understand about the world.
Yeah.
So like my beliefs, I really do, it's what I believe in now. But I cannot say that 5 years from now I'm going to believe in the same things.
Great attitude, yeah.
So I'm always open for like new ideas and like new growth. I'm very, very open-minded about all aspects of like different types of beliefs, but yeah, I don't really know how to like that question.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. What about you, Parker? Do you guys, does it at least seem to make more sense that something non-physical like our souls would come from something else non-physical rather than from physical things like atoms and molecules and whatnot?
Definitely a possibility. I think that's one of the mysteries of the universe, is that it's so open-ended, and it could definitely be a possibility like that. I definitely look at it more simply. When our soul's created, it's like, we're born, but I feel like that's also a combination of our physical attributes as well, how we're created in ourselves. So I feel like it's all kind of thing together. But yeah, just how I think about it.
Yeah. It's interesting because we know our souls haven't always been around, right? To me, at least, and it's totally fine if you guys disagree on this. It seems to make the most sense that our souls would come from something else soul-like, would come from something else non-physical, and obviously, whatever it ultimately comes from couldn't have come from anything else, right? Eventually, you have to get down to that. You have to get down to something that isn't caused by anything else. That doesn't come from anything else, right? And so I don't know. I think our souls are definitely real, and I think it points to something really amazing about the universe, that our souls, the non-physical part of us, comes from something else non-physical. Comes from something else soul-like. Ultimately, has to come from something that didn't come from anything else, right? Obviously, a big part of what many people consider God to be. I'm curious, have you ever thought of anything like that before, or heard anything like that before?
Personally, I've definitely considered like higher power, but I just refer to my higher power as the universe as a whole. Like specifically, like I don't necessarily talk to God, but I talk to the universe itself because I feel like it's just so big, it's so grand. Like we said, we don't know if there's other things out there or something that created us. So it's just like just talk to it as a whole, and I feel like my main motto is just everything happens for a reason. So it's like I feel like the universe has really taught me that. It's just like I just let nature run its course and let life run its course, and not like about who's watching over me, if that makes sense, or like the universe is watching. Just kind of do its thing.
I gotcha. Yeah.
We'll be honest though, I am on a little time crunch.
No worries. Yeah. The last question I have for you guys.
All right,
so I appreciate you being willing to share your thoughts and openly think how you think and feel about these things. I'll give you the last word too. Is there anything else you'd like to say while we're here together today?
The universe loves you, even if you're going through your struggles. No matter how hard life gets, just try to remain optimistic, because you could be at the lowest of lows and it does get better. As somebody who has always grown up with struggles, it gets better once you're able to take the right steps for it. So don't give up, because the universe is on your side. It will just take time.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
That's what I got to say.
Anything else for you, Parker?
I said in the interview, everything happens for a reason, so just make sure to trust yourself, trust the universe, know that any decision that's put in your path is always the right one and it was made for you. So yeah, always trust your gut.
Trust your intuition.
Trust your intuition.
Trust your intuition. In fact, put that part, trust your intuition.
That's a big part of
thank
the
you
soul
guys.
right there.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming over today. It was a wonderful conversation.
Have a good day.